Greetings, dear respected audience. This is Esther Mala. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Sorry, I thought. Okay, sorry. Greetings, dear respected audience. This is Esther Mala, your firstly and successful global educator, corporate trainer, SDG, ESG, and technology enthusiast from Malaysia, who not only focus on her life, but also desires to see others excel in their lives by offering quality education for all. Dear precious audience, esteemed academician, our dedicated project team of Elegant Empire Education welcomes you to the Real Talk with Experts Sustainable Development Goal Forum. We are privileged to have Assistant Professor Dr. Anjum Qureshi here with us today. She is our host and the project leader for this SDG forum. In this forum, we will explore transformative strategies that empowers communities through knowledge. Together, let us engage in insightful discussion and inspires action and fosters collaboration for a sustainable future with our honorable, respected panelists today, all the way from Serbia, Miss Bojana Bogojevic. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Let me give a brief intro about her. She is a corporate governance lawyer, and she's an international speaker as well, and she's also an author. So for this, I would like to welcome Ms. Bojana Bogojevic to our forum. Welcome, dear.
Thank you very much, dear Stera. Thank you for having me. It is always honored to be your guest, and warm greetings to all the audience from Serbia.
Thank you, thank you. Very nice. I think I'm very sure your friends from Serbia will be watching. Yeah,
well,
that
it
will
is it is a little bit difficult due to time zones. It is a working
What is
time.
the time there now in
It
Serbia?
is 15:50
15:50. So it's three
p.m.
something.
Yes,
Almost
it is 3
yeah.
hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, most of them be working, but never mind.
Yeah.
You can watch live, and later they can watch it. I will send you the YouTube link, and they can watch. Okay. So without much ado, I would invite Dr. Anjum to take over the session. Welcome, Dr. Anjum.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Esther. And I would also like to welcome our guest for today, Bojana, ma'am from Serbia. Can we have the slide, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, so greetings to everyone. I would like to welcome you for this SDG Forum by Elegant and Fair Education. And today we will be discussing on another important topic, why climate action matters. And as you know, we have our esteemed panelist today, Bojana, ma'am from Serbia. She is a corporate governance lawyer, a speaker, and author. So before starting with this panel discussion, I would just like to talk something about the topic that when we talk about the climate action, yes, there is an urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. And it is not just about a single country, but globally. And we know that without action, without working on it, the world's average surface temperature is likely to surpass 3 degrees Celsius in this century. So, if we don't control this, there will be a rise in temperature and it is going to affect us a lot. Now, in India, if we talk, there are nearly 275 rural people who depend on forest and part of their for their existence and livelihood. And but in 2017, highest ever alternate energy capacity installation was done in India. 60% of land is used for agricultures, and it is said that nearly 30 to 35% of the people will start talking about reducing emissions by 2030. So, if we talk about climate change, we have to advocate for this. We have to raise our voice. We have to talk and we have to discuss. And especially, we have to empower the youth to come up for this climate change, because if we don't control it, it will be very difficult for our future generations to live. So this was in short about climate change, and to start with the discussion, ma'am, I would like to ask my first question. When we talk about climate change, yes, this is the most discussed topic. Every time we talk about it. So my first question is, like, what are the long-term consequences of inaction on climate change for future generation?
It's question for me. Am I
I hope
right?
you got me. Yes, yes.
Okay, so I will divide this question as you said. I will continue the according to your first slide and your sentence that it should be a global action, because if global inaction on climate change persists, future generations will face a couple of consequences. So I divided them on extreme weather intensification. To be more precise, I mean more frequent and severe hurricanes, heat waves, floods, and droughts. Second is the rising sea levels, because it's due to rising levels, we will have a displacement of hundreds of millions in coastal cities. We already were witnessing the last year the first ever climate change refugees, also loss of habitat land, and what is more important is we are losing water supplies because due to salt water intrusion into freshwater supplies. And when I think about freshwater supplies, the freshwater supplies, if we have shortage of fresh water, it's not about drinking water, it's also we will lack in food supplies, because we can't use salt water to produce food. Also, we will have a health crisis because due to climate change and weather conditions, we will witnessing increased heat-related deaths, spread of vector-borne disease. It is in a majority of cases vector-borne disease. It's like everything that is to be more easier to understand to our listeners. Those are diseases which are transmitted by, for example, a mosquito. A couple years back, in Serbia, it is almost impossible to find the mosquito that is transmitting the West Nile sickness. Now it is almost a domestic. Also, we will have malnutrition due to food shortages, and it is also connected with water supplies. We will have irreversible ecosystem loss, mass extinction of species, collapse of marine ecosystems, and degradations of forests and wetlands. And at the end, we will have social and political instability because, as I said, climate refugees, resource conflicts, and heightened geopolitical tensions. The longer we delay action in this field, according to the first question, the more costly and difficult mitigation becomes, potentially pushing Earth past critical tipping point. Even all we all who are dealing with topics of climate change and Sustainable Development Goal 13, to be honest, I think that nobody knows where is our tipping point. In some circles, we already have thoughts that we already passed the tipping point, and the other thing is that nobody knows exactly where is tipping point. The other name of tipping point is of point of no return. So that's me on first question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful answer. And in fact, you just gave a very meticulous explanation of like how it is, how climate change is going to affect us. Because it is not just a small thing. Everyone is going to affect, and how you describe each and everything. That is very wonderful. Now,
Thank you, because I tried when I spoke to Estera, I tried to be, and I always try to be as much as educational to the listeners. It's easy to speak on some
yeah.
high level when you have listeners who already knows it. But we are now trying to change people behavior,
Yeah.
and
Yes, of
that's
course.
the most hardest thing we should do.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. So, like when you were talking about climate change and how it is affecting different people, how it is affecting the different sectors. So, here I would like to ask my next question: that how does climate change will affect vulnerable communities and developing nations?
Okay, it is always tricky question. It all depends who is the answer and who do you ask the question, because we have two sides. Because climate, it is we are talking in that question about climate injustice. Because climate injustice means that those who are the last responsible for emissions suffer the most because they are the poorest, because we will have geographic vulnerability, low-lying nations. It means for Bangladesh and, for example, Pacific Islands, they will face existential threats from sea level rise, while the other sections, for example, will endure worsening the droughts. We will have economic limitations. As I said, you will have now the explanation of climate injustice from an economic point of view. The poorer nations lack infrastructure and funds for adaptation, because climate justice or injustice and fighting against climate change is extremely uh, you need to be extremely wealthy if you need to successfully fight against climate change. For example, the poorest country needs to build a flood defense system and draft resistant corps, because we draft resistant corps, it's, for example, we will have more and more draft during the sun weather, and the corps we are having now, they simply can't resist those weather conditions. Then we will have health impacts. Marginalized communities face higher risks from heat stress, air pollution, and diseases like malaria due to weak healthcare systems. Then we have food insecurity. The smallholders, farmers in Africa, South Asia, and Latin America suffer crop failures, leading to hunger and to migration. And we will have those hunger migration due to drought and due to crop failures. And also we will have forced displacement. As I said at the beginning, we witnessed last year the first climate change climate refugees, because they often lack legal protection. For example, from sinking islands to flooded deltas. We had last year the first ever citizenship due to climate refugees. A small island, Vanuatu, they signed the contract with the Australian government, and they will simply from year to year to relocate their citizens, because they are losing their battle, because they are on the coral reef and they are using their battle about rising sea levels. And the wealthier nations historically are the largest emitters, have an ethical obligation to support adaptation and mitigation in vulnerable regions. We can't force them, but we are playing on the empathy, because climate change doesn't discriminate, and climate change doesn't know the borders.
Yes, of course. As you said, climate change doesn't know the borders. Again, it was like you can say the way you are discussing, the way you are presenting so many facts. That was really wonderful. And yes, of course, everyone is going to get affected, as you said. And the way you explained how developing nations, how different sectors are will be affected by this. But we need to know that when we talk about climate change, of course, we are also somewhere dependent on our governments, our corporations, and also we as individuals. So my next question will be like, what role will individuals, governments, and corporations play in driving effective climate action?
Well, as I already said, the most difficult thing or approach should be that we need to change the behavior and the way of how the people thought about when we speak about climate change, because we often heard that it won't happen in my lifetime. It's not my deal. It doesn't exist. We are not near the sea. It's not our bad air. It's due to the country, some other country behind the border, like air pollution, know the borders. So that's the value of this talk, that I have privilege to be invited. And once again, I want to thank you all, because we need to change. Only with education and with talks like this, we can achieve that everyone, no matter from which country we are, finally understand that climate change is already happening. We are basically living in time of climate change. So according to your questions, I will give you the first statement. It's about individuals. It's all about consumer choices. It's we just need, or we should adapt change the consumer choices. It's about plant-based diets and renewable energy adoption. And when people are saying we should all become vegans, we need to eat that and or this, it is also highly important to understand that sometimes it is impossible to change your diet. For example, for some people, it's due to their religion, to their health, or simply they are not wealthy enough to buy some grocery that are more climate friendly. So it's not easy to change your diet for that point of view, or to adopt some point of viewing. Also, governments must enforce policies like, for example, carbon pricing, fossil fuel, and greener infrastructure investment. And all it is important to be done by international cooperation. For example, Paris Agreement is vital. Corporations, as major emitters, industries must transition to net zero operations, adopt circular economies, and invest in clean tech. Shareholders, which are via activism, can push for sustainability. But as I'm finding myself that I'm repeating, but it is all very extremely wealthy, and it is very expensive, because it is hard to force some small entrepreneur who is feeding his family by his entrepreneur production to change immediately to net zero, or to clean or to circular economy. It can't be done by pushing one button. And systematic change requires all three working together. It means individuals, governments, and cooperation. Because individual action alone is insufficient without policy and corporation accountability.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And So I would like to know from you something more. Like you were talking in the previous questions, you talked about how climate change is linked to foods, security, and health. So I would like to ask another question regarding this, like how uh, climate change, because we know it is not just the changing of the climate or the rising of the temperature, but it is how with this the food security, health will get impacted. So, how climate change will impact food security, health, and also the global conflict?
Well, it is important to understand that there is, as I said, climate change doesn't diversificate, and there is no immunity, there is no vaccine against climate change. And climate change, according to we all have Agenda 2030 with 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and it is important to understand and to remember once for all that climate action, which is Sustainable Development Goal 13, which is basically connected with climate change, is inseparably connected with every Sustainable Development Goal. And when we talk about food security, it's food security is affected by rising temperatures, droughts, and erratic rainfall, reduce crop and yields like wheat, rice, and ocean acidification threatens fisheries and which also destabilize food supplies. It is different food security system and food supplies. It all depends which food will be affected. It all depends of the country and in which area of our planet that food that a country is. It's not this. It won't be there is no unification and it won't be the same in different countries. The countries with drought, we will have a food shortage due to drought and in countries due to erratic rainfall and with sea rises, we will have problem due to water supplies and to salt in water and because water won't be able to produce quality food. Also health, heat waves causes fatalities due to air pollution from wildfires and fossil fuels. For example, this year in Serbia, we had a lot of wildfires and which are connected with heat waves, and those heat waves are longer and longer, and are the temperature was over 43 degrees of Celsius, which is I don't know, can't it is I think that this July was the hotter July ever
Yeah, what's the
in Serbia.
temperature there, Bojana? May I know what's the
Now,
temperature? Yeah, yeah.
now today it's next week we already will have another heat wave, and
Oh,
today was 31 degree of Celsius.
then Greece
But
is worse. Greece is 40 plus.
no,
Greece is
today is 30 plus, but next week it will be 40 plus. But the problem is we have a high humidity. So
hot.
sometimes because this summer is completely different than last summer. The last year we had exactly the 1 week we will have a heat wave. The next week we will have, for example, 21 degrees of Celsius and a lot of rain. So basically, when we have a heat wave, we will have a high humidity and we will be like frogs, truly.
Yeah, this will also affect the health of the people, right? Because
Yes,
drastic change in the
yes, because
humidity and temperature, the body
yes,
not
it
able.
worsens respiratory diseases.
Yeah,
Also, my friend, she is cardiologist, and
uh-huh.
she says that due to uh, heat and fluctuations in temperature, she has problems to give the right amount of pills
Oh,
to, and we had a lot of strokes because sometimes when the temperature is over 40, the patient needs a lower amount of pills and therapy for example, for blood pressure. But the next week he already are seeing his blood pressure going up. So it's like you are on some kind of loop. That is the problem with health. For example,
Yeah.
that is the real story from the real people who are trying to help us.
Yeah,
Also,
so the medical expenses is becoming, I mean, the climate change is not only affecting the food, the health,
no,
finance, everything is affected, right? Due
yes,
to
it is. You can't find any part of our society or our daily day-to-day life that is unaffected by climate change.
yeah.
Also, I need to give you an answer about global conflict,
Yes.
resource scarcity. I mean, water exacerbation tensions like tensions in Syria, for example, about civil war and competition over melting Arctic resources or dam-controlled rivers. So could
Mhm.
spark conflict. Dam-controlled rivers is, for example, the Nile River. Climate change acts as a threat multiplier. It means that deepening existing inequalities and geopolitical instability. It deepens existing inequalities due to water shortage supply, due to food supply, and we are expecting this sometime in, I hope it won't be in our lifetime, we will have wars due to food shortage.
But but I think Serbia is safe in a sense that are you all? But how is the political situation in Serbia now?
It's
With
good.
all this is good, then it's
Yes.
okay. That then it is something, because
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
good. We have a great president, and he's doing a lot of good things for Serbia. And we will have a expo 2027, an expo in Serbia. It's the most important exhibition in the world. It is the first time the expo exhibition, international exhibition, will be held in Western Balkans,
wow, that's nice. That's
and we are
nice.
very proud of
Yes,
it.
congratulations. You see, like even a lot of countries affected, even in Europe, not only economically affected, climate, earthquakes, these natural disasters and all, even political. I think that is worse than anything, And now with all the natural disasters and all, countries are drained financially. Not only that particular country which is affected is suffering, even the neighboring countries, they also have to suffer because when your neighboring country is going through a disaster, you got to give your hands. You cannot say that I'm not contributing anything. So can say it's like a chain, right? Everybody is affected. So at least
Yes,
I'm
because there, as I said, there is no vaccine and there is no immunity, especially with wildfires. Uh,
yeah,
we are sending help to our neighboring country in airplanes, helicopters to um, shut down the wildfire, and we are helping as much as we can. And but it is something that it must be understood that if we don't do something very quickly, we won't need it then to do it at all.
yeah, obviously we got to assist our neighbors as the same time that it's not only assisting them or helping them out in time of need, but it will also eventually affect our country. Yeah, because
Yes,
they are our neighbors. Yeah, so when people are affected, just like the place where we stay, if our neighbors is affected, we are also affected. So we can't restrain ourselves from spending extra money, you know financially, uh, drain out,
yes,
even because of our neighbors going through some difficulty. So we have forecasted, we have budgeted for our country, but sometimes we have to allocate extra for our neighboring countries or countries in need. So with all these, like climate change, obviously, as you mentioned, wildfire. So which country is really affected by wildfire? Your neighbors? I think Canada, yes. Canada is one of the nearest country to you, right?
No, I'm in Europe.
Oh, you're the other side, yes, north.
Yes,
Near
I'm in Europe. Canada is not my neighboring country at all.
yeah. Okay. So you're a bit. I mean, Serbia is right on north, isn't it?
No, Serbia is
Almost near the
near
is
the
it near
Greece. It is
Greece?
actually, to be more easier for you, it is country that was once uh, till 1992 it was part of Yugoslavia.
Okay. Yeah. It's above Greece. Yes, it's very close to Greece.
Yes, so we are the biggest country in Western Balkans, and our neighbors are Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania,
Yeah.
Northern Macedonia, and
Uh-huh.
that's it.
So you're
Montenegro.
totally different. Yeah. US, Canada is on the other side. You are on Europe side.
They are
Yes.
different continents.
Yeah, different continent. Yes, exactly. So, but so which are the neighboring country which is affected by this wildfire? You still have it in Serbia?
The wildfire was happening this summer in Serbia, but
Serbia?
we solved it very quickly because our president understands the importance about having a good and quality equipment. Because if you don't have quality equipment to act promptly, uh, everything will be.
Yes. Wow.
That is the
All right.
reason that I said at the beginning, fighting against climate change is very expensive.
Very expensive, yes, especially wildfire. Yes, wildfire.
Yes.
Really a great disaster because what I can remember is the wildfire in Canada, Australia, and the most recent one was in Los Angeles, where
Oh yeah,
it was.
the I have friends in LA, and
Yeah.
she said it was really enormous disaster.
Yes. Wow. The rich lost everything. The rich and the famous lost a lot of things. Yeah. So
Yes.
anyway, uh, what can we do?
But it's not just about loss. It's not just about loss from the different states. We will have its loss, but its majority of cases they are covered by insurance. And we are now talking about talking about climate change. When insurance companies, I think they're thinking that they should put in their agreement or in their contract the insurance due to climate change.
Climate change, natural disaster, climate
Yes.
change also. But what I learned is that from what happened in Los Angeles, most of the insurance companies they disappeared when the wildfire.
Hmm.
It was a fire. No, I just don't know what is the real cause of it, but they they disappeared since many insurance company and the government have to bear the cost of rebuilding the city. Yeah, this is
Well,
what I.
it should, yeah, but we don't have facing the thing is that due to that wildfire, we had also in that moment the America had a problem. The whole
Yeah,
California, they had problem to air pollution. They had problem with probably the heat wave and health issues due to air pollution and due to emergency situation due to heat.
and the worst thing is that they had problem water shortage. They don't
Yes.
have enough water to put down the fire. You know
Yes,
that
because you
not
can't put salt water on a fire.
yeah, fire. Yes, that's the thing. So really, climate change is
That
something
is
very
irony of climate change. And
yes,
it is what I'm telling all the people always, that basically nature doesn't need us.
yeah,
We are we need nature.
We
Nature
need,
will always survive.
yes, yes, yes.
And if we are seeing climate change like or climate action like battle against nature, we will lose.
We will lose. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's every one of us have to take uh, preemptive measures to preserve whatever we have, especially nature. Yeah. So
Yes.
when it comes to climate, we have to also equally give importance on how can we, what can we do, what can be done at from home, from home in our society as well as in our state and country. Yeah, so
For
we have to.
example,
Mm,
in a part where I live, in my
yeah,
building, we are
yeah,
collecting the plastic bottles
yeah.
and we are giving them to recycling company, and then we use that fund to clean our building, to do something good and nice to our building.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I think a lot of countries now have moved to it. Yeah, they know the importance of recycling and all. But only thing is the different country is doing at different uh, pace. Yeah. So I should. I think.
They have different approach, but all
Yes.
those approaches, it depends of how money is they can
Channel.
use for fighting climate change, and they all have their priorities.
Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. So, how much of importance? So, in every year's budget, every country has the budget allocation every year for whatever they need in their country. They should also put aside some allocation for all this, yeah, natural disasters, climate change. How can contribute? You know, what can be done and all that to reduce the effects of adverse climate change effects. Yeah. Okay. Dr. Anju, do you have any questions or anything else to ask? No. Yeah. You're muted. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
muted.
no more
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ms. Bojana, is there anything else
Yeah.
you would like to tell our audience, share with our audience?
Yes, I
Yeah.
want to say that the science of climate change is clear. Delaying climate action risks catastrophic and irreversible harm, because equity, cooperation, and immediate systemic changes are needed to secure a livable future. The window for effecting action is closing, but it is not yet shut.
Yeah. Wonderful. Such a
And
brilliant share.
if we want to have a future worth living, we need to act immediately.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Every one of us have to act immediately. You are right.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Bojanat, for being with us. We started slightly late, but we had done it very well. And
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
thank you for being with us today. Thank you for sparing your precious time. Right after work, you had to rush back home to join us. And we really appreciate that from the depth of our hearts. And I wish to thank Dr. Anju, in spite of her not feeling well. She still made it a point to come. I think she's not really well. Looking at her, I know. So anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Anjum, Ms. Bojana. We love to have you again with another session. And good to see you after so long. So
Yes,
happy to see you.
it was too
I
long.
think almost 2 years. I think too long. It's almost two
Yes,
years
too
since
long, exactly.
international platform. Yeah. So uh, I just wish that I could come to Serbia one day.
You will, you will.
Yeah.
I think that we have I don't know how China is close to you, but I think it is. And
Yeah.
we have a direct flights from Peking and I think from Shanghai to Belgrade.
Oh, okay. China is not really very far because it's in Asia side, right? So it's not very far from Malaysia and India. India maybe
Yes.
slightly. I
Hmm.
think from India, if you have to go to China, you still have to come to Singapore. You transit in Singapore and go to China or KL. Malaysia and go to China, right, Dr. Anjum? Maybe it's like that. Yeah,
You
China.
have a direct flight from China, and I think twice per week. One time is China Airline, and second flight is Air Serbia.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
you just sit in airplane, don't need to reschedule yourself or recheck, and you're in Belgrade.
Okay. Hopefully I could come, because I'm also eagerly waiting to see our Professor Dr. Jelena Boskovic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just wish I could meet her also. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should arrange one good
Yeah, yeah.
live conference and one good meeting, one brainstorming of women brains.
Wow. Yeah, that will be great. That will be a great idea. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good rest,
Thank you.
Bojana. Rest
Thank you,
and
and good night. Have a good sleep.
yeah. Thank you so much. You too.
Stay sustainable.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. We all have to be sustainable in every aspect of our life. Otherwise, we will be left out.
Yeah.